Hi everyone, I'm Allison Gillum, the West Michigan Community Relations Coordinator for Gift of Life Michigan. I want to welcome you to our virtual Donate Life Day at the Zoo celebration, sponsored by our friends at Mutual of America. Since we couldn't all be together here at John Ball Zoo in Grand Rapids today, we wanted to bring the zoo to you. We've put together a fun online experience for you, which includes virtual safaris with John Ball Zoo educators, a virtual celebration of life trail, and the Wildlife Challenge with John Ball Zoo tickets up for grabs. Be sure to check out Community Cove too. This is our online exhibit hall that features organizations who support the West Michigan donation and transplantation community. Each of you should have also received a Wild About donation sign in the mail. We want you to take photos with those today and post them on social media using the hashtags DLDZ2020 and Wild About donation. We'll be looking for your posts, so be sure to tag Gift of Life Michigan and we'll share them throughout the day. Before we get into the rest of the program, I'd like to welcome Gift of Life Michigan's CEO, Dory Dills, to share a few words with you.
Hi everyone. I'm happy to be joining you, even virtually, to celebrate West Michigan's donation and transplantation community. I also want to give a special shout out to today's event sponsor, Mutual of America. Because of them, we were able to make this event possible. This year has certainly been a challenging one for all of you and for all of us at Gift of Life Michigan. We're working harder than we ever have to honor life through donation. We continue to work with our donors and our donor families to honor the gifts that they're giving and make sure they get to transplant patients who so desperately need them. Now, more than ever, Gift of Life Michigan is dependent on our community to help us spread awareness about the need for donation. We remain committed to the safety of our staff, our team members, our community members and volunteers, and all of our neighbors throughout Michigan. We're so grateful for West Michigan's continued support of our mission to honor life through donation. To the donors and donor families and professionals who make those gifts possible of sight and mobility and life-saving transplants, we greatly appreciate you. To our dedicated volunteers, thank you for helping us share the life-saving message of donation and transplantation here in West Michigan and throughout the state. We put together a really fun event for you today at the zoo. I hope you have a good time, and I look forward to next year when we can all be together again. Thank you.
My name is Vogelstein, and I am from Grand Rapids. My 17-year-old daughter, Rebecca, died after injuries in a car accident back in 2008, and she was an organ donor. She saved 7 lives through organ donation.
Given now this experience that you and your family have been through, what would you say that donation means to you now in a very personal way?
So donation to me is a way of honoring my daughter. It is a way of having her life mean something to go on, to continue through others that have her heart, her lungs, her liver. You know, the accident was a tragedy, but out of that came life. I think, you know, it has helped us in our grieving process to be able to honor Rebecca in this way. And not only through the lives saved through the organ donation itself, but every time I tell her story and it entices people to sign up,
Absolutely.
You're saving even more lives. So it's the gift that just keeps on giving.
We help share her story with high school students, and I know she's really inspiring, making an impact on the younger generation who people who just like her, you know, they're thinking about joining the donor registry when they go to get their driver's license. So this is really inspiring many people.
Right.
Right.
So, you know, you could say she saved 7 lives through direct organ donation, but how many more lives that
Indeed.
we don't know through people that signed that organ
Yep.
registry after hearing her story?
I believe she had said to you maybe at one point that she wanted to be a donor.
Yeah, so I was signing my driver's license to be an organ donor, and she asked me what I was doing, and when I told her that this is so that if I should die, my organs will be donated, and she said, you know what, she said, I would love to do that when I'm old enough, because she was a minor and she wasn't old enough to do that yet. So we knew when the time came that they pronounced her brain dead, that this is what we needed to do, this is what she wanted.
What would you like her recipients to know about her?
So Rebecca had a heart of gold. She was so compassionate about others, way beyond her years. She was always looking out for others. When there was a situation, especially with teenagers, where somebody was left out, she would reach out and make sure they were brought into the group and that they weren't left alone. She was in charge of the blood drive at her high school for people to donate blood. Yeah. So she really wanted to help other people. In fact, she was accepted at the University of Michigan to go into biomedical research because, as she said, she wanted to save other people's lives through medical research. Wow. And so she fulfilled her dream. She did save lives, and not in the way she had originally intended, but she did what she wanted to do.
Well, thank you so much, Kathy, for again being a part of this and all the support that you give to Gift of Life and all the advocacy you do to encourage people to join the registry and honor Rebecca's memory.
My name is Kelly Summers, and I am the manager of the Kidney Transplant Center at Mercy Health St. Mary's in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We do adult kidney transplants. We have done about just over 2,500 transplants since our program began in the early 70s.
Wow.
And so what our program does is we're a big, robust team full of nephrologists, surgeons, nurses, social workers, financial coordinators. And what we do is not only do we make sure that the patient is medically stable and cleared to undergo a big surgery like a transplant, but we also really try to set them up for success and make sure that we give them those stepping stones to really transition into a new life with a transplant and make sure that that's successful for them to live a long and happy, healthy life with this new kidney.
Given your role as the manager of the Transplant Center and all the experiences I'm sure you've had, what has organ donation come to mean to you?
So part of my role, not only being a manager of the office, I'm also a nurse. And part of our jobs for the nurses is we get to be on call. And so what that means is when a donor becomes available, they go into a national database and they get matched up with potential recipients. And when those recipients match up with those from my center, then we get notified and we get to review those offers and review them with the nephrologist, with the surgeon. And the best part of our job is that we get to make the call to the patient, to call them in and to tell them we have a kidney for you. And it's really amazing. It's an emotional phone call to make.
Yeah.
The patients are crying, their family's crying, I'm crying. There's so many moving pieces to it, so many stars that have to line up just right from a person donating to a transplant occurring. So when that happens, it is truly a miracle, and it's just such an honor to be one piece in that amazing story. To have hope and to have good things come out of such a tragedy, and to know that somebody's living on through another person, it's so amazing.
Well, thank you so much, Kelly. We really appreciate everything that you're doing for the community and also the time that you took to be part of our event. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
My name is Mike Lopez. I'm from Holland, Michigan. And my connection to organ donation is I'm a liver recipient. On July 24, 2010.
All right. So tell us, in these past 10 years that you've had, what has donation meant to you? What has that enabled you to do?
It enabled me to live, first thing. It gave me life, you know, a second chance at life.
Yeah.
I got to see people get married. I got to see birth of my nieces and nephews. Yeah, I went back to work. I mean, fully functioning again.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah.
You've had a chance to actually learn a little bit about your donor, right? Is that right?
Yes, I did. Yep.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about her?
My donor, her name is Amaya. She was 7 years old. They live close by in Lansing, so I met the donor family. I met John, her dad. She was full of life, and that's how they came for donation. He's seen his little girl that was full of life, and he goes, I want somebody else to have a second chance at life.
It's amazing.
So I was blessed to be the recipient.
You had the chance to speak with her. What would you say? Like, what has that gift ultimately meant to you?
It is the ultimate gift, because I didn't know if I was going to live or die. She gave me life, and I would just say thank you so much, you know, from the bottom of my heart. I think I would just give her a big hug, and hopefully that I am living the life that's worthy of being the recipient of such a great gift.
Thank you so much for taking the time to be a part of this event today and for sharing your story and what donation has meant to you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
My name is Geralyn May. I'm from Belmont, Michigan. And I am involved with Gift of Life because our son, Stephen, died from a tragic accident 10 years ago, and he was an organ donor.
Tell me a little bit more about Stephen. What would you like his recipients to know about him? And maybe tell us a little bit more about Everybody Love Everybody.
Sure. Stephen loved everybody. He was just an awesome kid. He really just embraced everyone. It didn't matter what you looked like, where you came from. He really loved every person that he encountered. When he passed away, we had no idea that he used to tell all of his friends, ELE, Everybody Love Everybody. His friends all took that and used it as his mantra. And also they wanted to try to make the world a better place through his memory. So we created an ELE foundation in his name. And through God's grace, it's really become something that we would never have imagined.
Do you have a special message about organ and tissue donation that you would like to share with people in West Michigan?
I think that giving through the gift of life is the greatest gift that anybody could ever give. To be able to help someone else see, or to be able to help someone else heal from burns, or to be able to have new kidneys or liver or hearts, it's just incredible what gift you can give to people. And you know, Stephen was not an organ. I mean, he was a tissue and eye. And so at first I thought it was a little bit less significant because he did not give a major organ, because unfortunately he couldn't. You know, with the timing, it just didn't work out. But I know now, and you've helped me with this, Allison, that the tissue and the eye gift, all of those are so important. He did donate his heart valve, so I know that he saved babies' lives, and that was pretty incredible for us to hear shortly after, you know, after he died. So I just can't emphasize enough for people to open their hearts. Once again, it's a ELE. Everybody love everybody. Love somebody that you don't even know through the gift of life.
I just want to end by showing our appreciation for joining us today. It means the world that you took the time to chat with us and share Stephen with us. Thanks for all that you're doing.
Always available to help. So thank you for what you're doing too.
Tracy Gary, and I'm originally from Fremont, Indiana, but then I moved up to Kalamazoo. And then when I started going through the heart transplant process, I moved up here to Grand Rapids. I had a heart transplant May 5th, 2018.
Awesome. So just over 2 years ago.
Just over 2 years ago.
Congrats on that.
Thank you.
And I'm Holly Werlein, and I had liver transplant 14 years ago over in Cleveland.
Wow. So 14 years for you. You celebrated that, right?
Yep, my
back in
liverversary.
June, was it?
Yep.
Your liverversary. Congrats to both of you. How did you two come to know each other? Do you have any connection that you want to tell us about?
Well, going to the transplant clinic in Grand Rapids, Holly happened to work there. And when she left the clinic and went to another clinic, I found her on Facebook and asked her if she'd like to go out for lunch. And that was 3 years ago?
Yeah, 3 years ago.
3 years ago?
Yep.
And every day since, we've been together.
The rest is history.
The rest is history. And
Sadly in love, and we're married now.
And now you're married.
Now we're
September
married.
22nd of 2019, we had a wedding.
Oh, congrats to both
And
of
our
you.
wedding,
I love this.
Our wedding was Donate Life themed.
What does donation mean to each of you?
So we're both super grateful and blessed to live a second chance at life. And finding my soulmate and getting married, I would have never thought through organ donation that we would be able to do that. And been competing in the U.S. and the World Transplant Games, and my sister met her husband in Australia who had a bone marrow transplant at the transplant game, so that's super cool too.
What would you say to those who might be thinking about joining the donor registry, who haven't yet?
I have been a donor since I was 16, got my driver's license. And I mean, it gives people their dreams. I mean, people who had plans and possibly could not have them. You know, so, I mean,
yeah. Incredible gift.
Donors are heroes. And it's super easy. You go online, you can sign up online, organ, eye, tissue, bone marrow, donor.
Yeah, it's so easy now, right?
And my donor family, I met my donor family, and they were able to be at our wedding as well. So that was really special.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. What has your transplant enabled you guys to do?
I found my best friend and we got married. And I mean, I've also, 2 months after my transplant, my 5th grandchild was born.
Wow.
And sometimes it's emotional.
Sure.
And it's allowing me to see my 6th grandchild be born.
You know, thank you for sharing that, because I think it really highlights the tremendous gift that's given by an organ donor.
Exactly.
We wouldn't be here today without our donors.
Thank you guys so much for sharing your story with
Yes,
us,
of
your
course.
love story.
Yes.
And we just appreciate you being a part of this event today, and for representing West Michigan. Yeah. Thanks again.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
My name is Adam Mix, and I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan, born and raised. Grew up in Lowell, Michigan. That's where I went to school. My connection to donation is I'm the transplant administrator at Spectrum Health Hospitals, the Richard DeVos Heart and Lung Transplant Program there. As the transplant administrator, I get to lead a team of people. I like to say that transplant is a team sport, requiring contributions from hundreds of different people, lots of expertise, and so I get to partner with physician leaders and help lead this team and make sure that we're providing the best care possible to our patients.
In this role, through this role, what has donation come to mean to you?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's something that we think about a lot, and where I really appreciate the partnership that we have with Gift of Life. We know, I'm on the recipient side of things, running the transplant program, not as connected to the donation side, and so that's where I really appreciate the partnership with Gift of Life. That we know whenever we have a recipient that's receiving that life-changing gift, that second chance at life, that we know there's someone else out there who has passed away, and another family who is suffering, and it's someone's best day and someone's absolutely worst day. And so we remember that in the transplant program to make sure that we're honoring that gift that we know someone has given.
Given that you, day in and day out, you essentially see the end result of organ donation and the incredible impact that it has on people's lives and their families, right? What would you say to people, like maybe for the person who hasn't joined the organ donor registry yet, or they're on the fence, or maybe just not sure about it? What would you say to maybe encourage them to join the registry?
Yeah, I think it's a very personal decision, a very personal choice that each person has to make. But my advice is to give it a lot of thought and to think about it carefully, knowing that that decision can impact so many other people's lives, and it's a chance to be a hero and save a life. And so I'm very proud to be an organ donor. Awesome. I'm hesitant, like I don't want to, it shouldn't be forced on other people, but it's something for us to think about and consider carefully, knowing the enormous positive impact that it can have on many other people.
Yeah, and again, you truly are in the unique position to witness that.
Right.
Yeah.
So many stories of just outstanding outcomes, and again, we know it's because of the donors.
All because of the donors and those people who make the decision, or their family members who make that decision to say yes and help somebody else. Thank you so much, Adam, for taking the time to talk with us today, to be a part of this great event, and for the great work that Spectrum's doing for the donation and transplantation community. We appreciate it.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you for the opportunity. It's great to come out and be here and partner with Gift of Life Michigan, and I just appreciate so much your commitment to Grand Rapids and the west side of the state.
My name is Oliver Hill, better known as Chef O. I'm a retired chef. I'm here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and my relation to organ donation, I am a 2-time kidney transplant recipient, now a total of 31 years.
What kind of things has your transplant made possible for you, like the things you weren't able to do before?
When I hit the ground running in 1985, I haven't stopped, I haven't looked back, because things started happening for me. I was a tennis player before my kidney failure, and then I found out about the transplant Olympic Games, what they call the transplant games that are held nationally and worldwide. So I got a chance to join them. I've been with the team since 1985. My cooking career went from going back to college to get a degree in culinary art to becoming voted best chef twice in Grand Rapids, and then just speaking in the area, doing things for organ donation. I told myself continue climbing on a ladder, and I have not even reached the top, because every year I'm looking for something to climb on that ladder so I can just kind of, and just look back at the accomplishment. But it's all because of 2 families.
If we get the opportunity to meet them someday, what would you say to them?
It'll be very hard. It'd be very emotional. Thank you is not enough. Walking my daughter down the aisle for marriage, seeing the grandkids. There's so much that I owe to them for what they did by making that decision.
Well, we have a lot of people on the donor registry here in West Michigan. What would you say to those few people who haven't joined the registry yet?
If you haven't heard my story and see what organ donation can do for a person, I don't know what more I can say, because you are touching somebody's life. There are thousands and thousands of people like me today because of the generosity of someone saying, hey, I think we can do this for someone. We can make someone's life better, and that's all I can say.
Thank you again for all the work that you do to advocate for people to join the organ donor registry.
You know what? It's the least I can do. It's the least. I enjoyed it. I have enjoyed it for all these years now, since 1983, when I first got sick with kidney failure, up to this moment. And I'm going to keep doing it as long as God give me the willing to breathe. I am going to be doing as much as I can for organ donation.
Thank you, Chef O.
Thank you.
I am Deborah Wyant, and this is my daughter Zoe.
and we are from Holton, Michigan. And we are here today to talk about Shayna Sturdivant. She was my daughter and her sister, and she passed away September 14th, 2016. And she donated her kidneys, her pancreas, her lungs, and her hands.
Wow. Talk a little bit more about this hand donation. I think, what was she, the first person in Michigan to?
She was the first in Michigan. Wow. And when they asked me about it, I was just like, wow, what, you're gonna do what? But they found a match for her hands, and they asked if they could have them, and absolutely. A wonderful grandma received them. She can now feed herself. She can hold
play with her grandchildren.
Yeah, she can play catch with her grandchildren, hold their hands, she can feel with them. They are her hands now. It's such a good feeling for the donor family, because we get to see the people that their lives have been changed. You know, the gentleman that got Shayna's lungs gets to watch 3 grandchildren grow up that he didn't have a chance before Shayna passed, and now he's here for them, and all of his family and all the other families that were touched by Shayna.
What would you like those people to know about her?
Well, she loved life. She loved her family. She was a new mom for just a year, and she loved Batman. She was the stubbornest little thing that I ever met. If we had a message to the recipients, we would just hope that they're living life to the fullest and appreciating every day, and just love your family.
My sister is
a hero.
She inspired a lot of people, that's for sure.
That is for sure. Thank you guys so much for sharing Shayna's story with us. And I know it inspires many, many people, and we're so happy to have you be a part of this event today.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
We had such a fun time.
Good. Thanks again for joining us for our virtual Donate Life Day at the Zoo celebration. If this event has inspired you to do more, we have plenty of opportunities to get involved with Gift of Life Michigan. We have an incredible group of dedicated volunteers right here in West Michigan who educate the community about the importance of organ, tissue, and eye donation. To learn more about our volunteer program, visit golm.org. Not quite ready to volunteer yet, but still want to support the cause? Consider a contribution to the Gift of Life Foundation. All monies donated go towards providing grants for transplant centers that will help waiting candidates as well as post-transplant recipients. We also use the money to help educate the community about the importance of donation. The easiest thing you can do to support this cause is to join the Michigan Organ Donor Registry. It takes about 30 seconds. All you have to do is click the Join Now button at the top of this page. It's a simple gesture that will mean the world to the nearly 3,000 Michigan residents who are waiting for a life-saving organ transplant. On behalf of all of us on the Donate Life Day at the Zoo Committee and all of us at Gift of Life Michigan, thank you again for taking the time to join us for this event today. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you right back here next summer.